Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bold and Beautiful. Today, Finn was really shocked when he found out about Steffy's secret. She was pregnant. Nobody knew. This was going to cause a lot of trouble for Forrester Creations and for Steffy's relationships with everyone. It started when Finn went to the Forrester mansion to see Steffy. He thought it would be a visit. When he got there, he could tell something was wrong. Steffy was acting nervous. That made Finn feel like something was off. Steffy is a strong person, but right now she looks really fragile. Her hands are shaking a little as she tries to be strong like she always is. She will not look at Finn, and that tells him that something big is going to happen. Steffy finally gets the courage to talk. What she says leaves Finn with nothing to say. She says to Finn, "Finn, I have something to tell you. I am pregnant." The woman he loved was in trouble. It hit him really hard. His mind was thinking about what could happen. He felt a lot of emotions. He was excited and he did not believe it. He was also scared. Most of all, the woman he loved needed to be protected, and he wanted to do that. Then Finn thought he could handle the news, and that is when Steffy told him something that would change everything for the Forrester family. And Finn, the father, is. She stopped talking with tears in her eyes. The room was so quiet and tense it was like you could cut the air with a knife. Then she said, "He is not who you think he is." Finn's heart started beating fast as he thought about all the things that could be happening. Could the father be Liam? Could the father be Thomas? Steffy was really upset and scared. She had been feeling this way for a while now. Her stomach was doing flips because she knew something was about to happen. Steffy was crying when she told Finn what was going on. She said she had been through a lot lately. Steffy had to make some choices and she thought she was in charge. Things did not go as planned. Steffy felt guilty and had to keep secrets. This was not what Finn expected from Steffy. Steffy had been dealing with all these feelings for weeks. It was really hard for her. She was afraid of how Finn would react to what she had to say. Steffy was nervous about what would happen between them. She told him what was going on, telling him all about the things that had happened in her life with this other man. This man had suddenly appeared in her life again. She had to deal with feelings she thought were gone. Finn was trying to stay calm. He was having a hard time understanding what she was saying. Steffy looked at him with tears in her eyes, wanting him to understand her, trust her, and give her a chance to tell him everything about the situation with this man and what was going on with her and this man. The room was really tense. You could feel it. Every heartbeat sounded loud, and every time someone stopped talking it felt like they were thinking really hard about what to say next. Finn was stuck between feeling love and feeling betrayed. He wanted to say something. He did not know what to say. He was thinking about how everyone would react and what would happen to them in the future. Finn was also wondering how something big could have happened without him knowing about it. The tension in the room was all about Finn and the people he cared about. Finn was trying to figure out what to do because this big change was going to affect Finn and the people he loved. Steffy saw that Finn was struggling, so she started telling him about what had been going on with her. She talked about all the things that had happened to her. The way she was feeling, the things that were confusing her, the people she had met by chance, and the nights she had spent trying to make up her mind about things that would affect her life and the lives of the people around her. She told him about a man who had come back to Los Angeles when she was not expecting it, and how that had brought back feelings, old friendships, and a moment when she was not being careful, which had led to something happening between them that they had not planned but could not deny had happened. Steffy was talking about this man, how he had changed things for her. Finn's chest felt really tight as he heard what was being said. Everything he thought he knew was changing. It was like his whole world was spinning around. He was getting more and more surprised by what he was learning. He felt bad and jealous. Most of all, he felt a really strong love for Steffy. He wanted to be close to her even though things were not good between them now. Finn loved Steffy much that he wanted to hold her and make everything okay. The problems between Finn and Steffy were big. Finn's love for Steffy was even bigger. Steffy's voice shook as she went on. She told them how she had tried to protect Finn from the truth. Steffy had been scared of losing Finn. She had been scared of what the Forrester family would think of her. Steffy was also scared of what would happen to her at work if people found out about this news. Steffy had feared that the Forrester family and other people would judge her. Finn's heart was beating fast as he tried to understand the woman he knew. He thought of Steffy as an independent person who was not afraid of anything. Now he was looking at a woman who was very upset and emotional. She had been keeping a secret that could change everything for all of them. Finn was having a time thinking of what to say. He was thinking about all the things that could happen because of what Steffy told him. He wondered if Steffy's secret would end their relationship or if their love for each other was strong enough to get them through this time. Finn was thinking about Steffy, what she said, and he was trying to figure out what would happen to Steffy and him. The room felt small all of a sudden. The outside world just did not matter anymore. What mattered was what was happening with Steffy and Finn now. Steffy could tell that Finn was really upset inside. So she took his hand. Her fingers were shaking. She said to him, "I had to tell you the truth because I love you, Finn. I want Steffy and Finn to get through this together. It is going to be tough. Steffy and Finn will face it together no matter what happens. Steffy loves Finn and Finn is important to Steffy." The way she looked at Finn was really genuine. Finn was feeling all sorts of things. He was upset and confused and hurt. He really wanted to keep Steffy and their baby safe, know who the baby's father was. Finn started thinking about the baby, a kid who was going to be part of the Forrester family. He felt like he had to take care of this baby, make sure it was okay and love it, know what was going on. Finn wanted to protect Steffy and their baby and be there for them because that is what you do for the people you care about, like Steffy and their future child. Then something big happened when Finn was getting ready to talk. Steffy told him something that was really surprising. The father was someone that nobody thought would be involved. This person being in her life would cause a lot of drama and problems for the Forrester family and other people too. When Finn heard this, he was really shocked. His heart started beating and he could not stop thinking about what it all meant. He had to think about what would happen and what he should do about this big news. The Forrester family was going to be affected by this. Finn had to figure out how he would deal with it. Steffy's confession really shook Finn's life. It was not just about Finn, it was about all the people at Forrester Creations. Forrester Creations is a place where people have to deal with love, loyalty, and wanting to be successful. Now that Finn knows the truth, he knows that things will never go back to the way they were. The people at Forrester Creations will have to think about who they care about and who they can really trust. Some people will get. Relationships will be broken at Forrester Creations. Finn felt really clear about things with all the craziness going on. He loved Steffy much and he was not going to let anything get in the way. No matter what problems came up, Finn was going to deal with them on. He wanted to keep Steffy safe. The baby that was growing inside of Steffy. This was not going to be easy because there were a lot of things happening, like people doing bad things to each other and families fighting. Finn was willing to go through all of that to protect Steffy and the baby. Finn loved Steffy. He was going to do whatever it took to keep her and the child safe. Outside the Forrester mansion, nobody knew what was going on inside. Finn and Steffy were right in the middle of a big problem. This problem was going to affect every part of their lives. It was going to test how strong Finn and Steffy really are. It was going to test if they're truly loyal to each other. It was going to test their love for each other in ways that Finn and Steffy never thought possible. Steffy and Finn had a moment where they really felt something for each other. They did not say a word. They both knew what the other person was thinking. They were in this together no matter what happened next. Steffy and Finn were going to face sometimes they would be confused and hurt and things would not always go as planned. But one thing was for sure, Steffy and Finn loved each other. They were committed to each other and the baby they were having. Their love for each other was real. Steffy and Finn were not going to let anything get in the way of that. Just as Finn took a deep breath, he was getting ready to deal with what was really going on. Then the camera showed the Forrester family members and their rivals, who were standing in the shadows. The way they were reacting made it clear that there would be more shocking arguments, secret deals, and big confrontations. This is what happens on The Bold and the Beautiful. On The Bold and the Beautiful, secrets do not stay hidden for long. On The Bold and the Beautiful, no matter how much people love each other, their love is always affected by cheating, strong feelings, and scandals. Finn's mind raced with one thought over and over again. How could this happen? Who would be the father? And what would it mean for their future? And yet, despite the whirlwind of emotions, one thing became undeniably clear. Nothing in the Forrester universe would ever be the same, and the drama, heartbreak, and passion that followed would be more explosive than anyone could have ever imagined. The disclosure of Steffi's secret gestation didn't just leave Finn stupefied. It transferred shockwaves throughout the entire Forrester world, splashing across lives, connections, and intentions in ways that no bone could have prognosticated. And as Finn stood firm in the grand Forrester manse, trying to reuse the fact that the woman he loved and trusted had carried a life-altering secret from him, his mind whirled with 1,000 clashing feelings. Every beat of his heart felt both thrilling and intimidating as he tried to attune his unwavering love for Steffi with the confusion, mistrustfulness, and moping fear that such a disclosure could fully upend the life they had been erecting together. Steffi, standing before him, looked small and fragile despite her usual strength, her hands pulsing slightly as she gripped at her stomach, a gesture that both pained and captivated Finn, for in that moment he realized that the bitsy life growing inside her was further than just a complication. It was a living, breathing personification of stopgap, love, and also a dramatic storm that would gulf everyone around them. Finn's studies contended back to the innumerous hours they had spent together, the dreams they had participated of erecting a family, of creating a life intertwined with love and collective trust, and now all of that sounded both terrifyingly possible and frighteningly complicated. He wanted to reach out to her, to hold her, to tell her that everything would be okay, and yet a shadow of mistrustfulness dallied, brooding questions he dared not voice. Who exactly was the father? How had this happened? And what would the fallout be, not just between them, but with the entire Forrester family, with Liam, Thomas, and every supporter or rival who could have a stake in this explosive news? Steffi, seeing Finn's inner fermentation, tried to bridge the distance with a pulsing smile, her voice jiggling as she rumored, "Finn, I know this isn't what you anticipated, and I know it changes everything, but please, hear me out. Please understand that I no way wanted to hurt you, and I no way could have imagined this would be the way it did." Finn's eyes softened despite the storm raging inside him, but his mind couldn't yet settle. It was a swirling whirlpool of fidelity, passion, unbelief, and a deep, unshakable love that refused to let go. Indeed, as questions impended larger and larger in his mind. And also Steffi, gathering the last remnants of courage, revealed the identity of the father. A disclosure so shocking that Finn felt as if the bottom beneath him had dissolved, leaving him suspended in a dizzying void of unbelief and heartbreak. The words hung in the air like a blade poised to strike Finn. The father is Liam. The name cut through Finn like ice, a cold wave, sharp confirmation that the man he'd trusted as a friend, a rival in love, and a complicated figure in the Forrester saga was now intricately linked to the woman he loved in a way he'd no way anticipated. Finn's palpitation contended, every muscle in his body tensing as he grappled with the impossibility of the situation. Liam, the man who had stood in the murk of their love story, now intertwined with Steffi in a secret that hovered to unravel everything. The room sounded to constrict around him, the walls closing in as he tried to breathe, tried to form words, tried to attune the image of Steffi in his mind with the disclosure that the child she carried wasn't his, but the product of a moment that had been stolen by circumstance, vulnerability, and maybe a moping spark that neither he nor Steffi had ever imagined. Steffi, gashes streaming down her face, reached out and grasped Finn's hand, her fritters pulsing, seeking an anchor in the eye of the emotional hurricane. "I know you're shocked," she rumored, her voice breaking. "And I know this is hard to understand, but Finn, I need you to know that my love for you hasn't changed. My heart has always been with you, and no matter what, that will no way waver." Finn looked into her eyes, seeing the sincerity, the fear, and the hopeless stopgap that they could ever navigate this insolvable situation together. Yet a eating feeling of treason dallied in his casket, a memorial that life in Los Angeles, and especially within the Forrester conglomerate, was no way simple, no way straightforward, and no way devoid of drama. His studies incontinently turned to Liam, wondering how he'd reply, how Brooke, Hope, and the rest of the involved web of connections would respond formally the news broke, and whether Steffi and Finn could survive the scrutiny, the gossip, and the ineluctable emotional battles that lay ahead. Meanwhile, outside the intimate bubble of the Forrester manse, the megacity of Los Angeles sounded unconscious to the seismic events unfolding, yet the turnabout of pressure was palpable, as if the veritably air around them buzzed with the expectation of reproach, battle, and explosive exposures. Finn, still reeling from the verity, tried to undergird his breathing, feeling a deep internal conflict on one hand, an each consuming love for Steffy and a fierce desire to cover her and the child growing inside her. On the other, a stitch of covetousness, a sense of inadequacy, and the fear that the complicated history between Steffy and Liam could overshadow their own bond. Steffy, seeing the storm brewing within him, took a conditional step closer, her voice soft but unvarying. "Finn, I know I wanted it to be this way. I know I wanted to hurt you or make you question us, but occasionally life throws situations at you that are beyond your control. I'm spooked too, but I believe in us." Finn's hand tensed around hers, a gesture of both love and despair, as he realized that the trip ahead would not just be about remission, conciliation, or navigating the complications of a gestation involving another man, but also about reconsidering trust, commitment, and the veritably meaning of love in the chaotic, high-stakes world of the Forresters. And yet, indeed as he grappled with these violent feelings, he felt a spark of determination enkindle within him, a turn down to let fear or wrathfulness mandate his conduct, a resoluteness to stand by Steffy, to embrace the challenges ahead, and to face the consequences of a verity that had the implicit to reshape the entire Forrester conglomerate. The magnitude of the situation came indeed clearer as they contemplated the responses of those closest to them, the probative yet opinioned Ridge, whose love for his family frequently collided with his fiery disposition, Taylor, whose wisdom and motherly instincts could either soothe or complicate matters further, Brooke, whose complicated history with both Liam and Steffy added layers of pressure, and Hope, whose contest with Steffy over Liam would inescapably enkindle drama, covetousness, and emotional competitions that could tear Gemütlichkeit and alliances piecemeal. Every discussion, every regard, every rumored word would now carry the weight of this secret, the disclosure of a gestation that had remained retired, and the shocking identity of the father, creating a ripple effect that hovered to gulf everyone connected to the Forrester family in reproach, heartache, and implacable conspiracy. Finn, scuffling with the enormity of the news, felt the pressure of guarding not just Steffy and their love, but also the child, whose innocent actuality had formerly come the center of a web of complex feelings, alliances, and implicit conflicts. He allowed of the exchanges he'd have to have, the boundaries he'd need to establish, and the delicate balancing act of navigating a situation fraught with emotional landmines at every turn. Steffy, apprehensive of Finn's internal struggle, tried to assure him, though indeed she felt the weight of the situation pressing down, a memorial that their love story, though passionate and continuing, had just entered the most complicated chapter yet. Outdoors, the Forrester world awaited, unconscious to the drama about to unfold. Calls would be made, secrets would be revealed, competitions ineluctable, and alliances tested as the verity of Steffy's gestation came public knowledge. And yet, amid the storm of treason, reproach, and query, Finn set up a singular, imperturbable verity. His love for Steffy was unwavering, his commitment to her and the child absolute, and despite the chaos that impended, he'd stand by her, fight for their family, and defy every twist, turn, and heartbreak head-on. The coming days promised to be a tempest of feelings, a roller coaster of exposures and competitions, where every twinkle carried the eventuality for joy, heartache, or explosive drama, and where the lives of Steffy, Finn, Liam, and the entire Forrester clan would be ever changed by a secret that had eventually, incredibly, come to light. As Finn held Steffy near, feeling the life growing within her, he knew that the trip ahead would not be easy. There would be heartache, wrathfulness, and unconceivable complications, but it would also be filled with love, adaptability, and the unbreakable bond that had always connected them, and in that moment, amidst the whirlwind of reproach and disclosure, Finn made an implied oath: no matter the obstacles, no matter the heartache, no matter the drama that would inescapably erupt, he'd cover Steffy, embrace the child, and fight for their family, because love, indeed in the most complicated and libelous circumstances, was always worth fighting for. And as the camera condemned down, landing the pressure, the love, and the brewing competitions that awaited, one thing was certain: the Forrester macrocosm would no way be the same again, and the drama, treason, and explosive exposures sparked by Steffy's secret gestation would dominate every discussion, every conflict, and every twinkle for weeks, months, and maybe indeed times to come, leaving observers on the edge of their seats, breathless, agonized, and addicted to every twist. In the story, because in the world of the bold and the beautiful, secrets always face, love always complicates, and the stakes are always advanced than anyone could imagine.